You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Thad, and joining me is my co-host, Chrissy. How are you today?
I'm a little anxious about the fact that everybody seems to be trying to kill each other, and I feel like it might be our fault. Not intentionally, but yeah.
It took me a minute to figure out whether you were talking about Star Trek or you were just talking about the world outside for a minute.
6 to 1, half a dozen to the other.
Yeah. And you know, as an American, saying that everybody might be trying to kill us, yeah, might make perfect sense.
As you may have just realized, our other guest today is Alex Perry from Weekly Trek. Alex, how are you today?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you.
All right, before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producers Carl Wonders, Justin Oser, and Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly Patreon subscription of just $5, you can join our meetings at the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. Watch your Patreon messages for details. Alright, so we're into the first half of the finale of Star Trek Prodigy Season 1. What do we call this? 1.2?
1B.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's actually what they call it in the writers' room.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay. Well, you could just say Season 1 finale. I don't think...
We've got Prodigy Supernova Part 1. Alex, what'd you think this week?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, it packs a lot of story into 24 minutes. Halfway through the episode, I was like, oh, well, this must be close to the end of the episode, right? And it was only halfway through. Yeah, there's a ton of story. Obviously, it's a part 1, right? So, I mean, there is a fair amount of setup. But it's all good setup in the sense that while it is setup, it is also payoff from the previous 8 episodes that get us to this point specifically. So while it is like sort of setting up episode 10, it is also, lots of the things that you have wanted to see resolve in this episode, which really is going to set us up for quite a big finale next week, given that they have kind of cleared the decks of some stuff, which is going to give them more time to focus on other things. So yeah, I really, really liked it.
Chrissy, what did you think?
Oh, yeah, it was good. It was, I don't usually use the term action-packed, but I think that's definitely a good descriptor for it. And yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but you're right, Alex, that they fixed up some of the storylines. They wrapped up, or at least sufficiently resolved for the end of the season, some of the storylines, so we can really focus.
It's sort of, in some ways, Picard Season 2 was quite similar in that regard, right? At the end of Episode 9, they had wrapped up a bunch of stuff, which left them just a few things left over for Episode 10 that they needed to address. And it feels kind of similar to this.
Because they learned their lesson from Picard Season 1.
Yeah, right.
Which left where the episode 9, which was also the first part of a two-parter, left nothing resolved, and they had to scramble and do the whole thing in one final episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder with that kind of thing sometimes if they shoot it all and then they decide how they're going to edit it later. Like, some stuff was was going to be in one, but it ended up in two, and vice versa. So.
Yeah, but like, even with the long episodes that they sometimes do on streaming, like that was a lot of stuff in for 2 episodes. Like once surely, unless they started shooting it before they had finished writing it, which I suppose is possible.
That's true.
I do know that they had not yet figured out how they were going to end the season when they started Picard season 1. They have said so in interviews, which you can tell.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You can.
Anyway, I don't know how much they had planned ahead on Prodigy, but I think they're doing a much better job with the continuity on this one. I think my immediate reaction to this episode is these are some of the best shots of starships that we have had in Star Trek ever.
Yeah, they definitely made use of the 4 ship models that they had.
Yeah, they did some great close-ups of those ships. Yeah, okay, that is one thing I do want to touch on.
It's okay, it's fine, right? Like, it's animation, it costs a lot of money, you have to read, and it's not like you can pull off the shelf the Star Trek Online stuff, because Prodigy has a very specific style, an animation style, and so, like, you have to animate it in that style. So, like, you're never going to get a fleet of 50 ships and every single one of them being a different class
Well, that
of
doesn't
ship.
even make sense that they would all be a different class anyway. There's going to be more than one of a different class.
But doing 4, right, what is it? Sovereign, Defiant, Akira, Centaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Dauntless and the Protostar.
Yeah, we have now seen way more Akira and Centaur than in all of Star Trek combined up to this point.
Correct. Not hard for particularly for the Centaur, since I think it only shows up in one episode.
No, it's in some of the battle scenes, isn't it?
I don't think it is. I think it's just in A Time to Stand. I love the Centaur, personally. I'm like a huge Centaur stan. It's probably the thing I'm most excited about for the Star Trek Resurgence video game, is the fact that the ship is a Centaur class. And I was like, that's awesome, because you only see it briefly in that one episode, and now it's like, now I think I've seen 50 of them. Just terrific. And from all the angles, too.
And it doesn't look any better from the different angles, I'm sorry.
Yes, it does. It's a glorious ship.
Okay, I in spirit love every kit bash because it's amazing. And I love how they can do so many things and do different ships out of moving the stuff around. And the Centaur is a perfect example of a kit bash. But I think it's an ugly ship.
No, it's graceful, it's clean, it's like all of the best things about the Excelsior without the like dumpy secondary hull.
Oh no, I agree with you that it is better than the Excelsior, but that's because I hate the Excelsior. That said, the traditional Excelsior the original Excelsior from Star Trek 2, etc., not Star Trek 3, etc., looks good from certain angles. The refit Excelsior from Generations, etc., looks terrible from every angle. And the Centaur looks a little better.
I had to look this up. Okay. And it's cool looking, but also at the same time, all I can think of is it looks like the NX-01 flipped over.
Or since it came first, the NX-01 looks like it flipped over.
The NX-01 is actually designed based on the Akira class flipped over. They've actually said that was their design. That was their design decision, or that was one of their influences for the design for the NX-01. Which some guy on Twitter tried to use as an example of proof to me that Enterprise is not really canon. And I'm like, no, what the designer... What? It's not the Starfleet designers that did that. It was the real-world designers. The people in the 22nd century were not designing it based on a 24th century ship.
Oh, dear.
I'm not allowed to say bad words on your podcast, so I will hold my tongue.
I mean, you can. We'll just bleep you out. I've definitely said some bad words on this podcast.
Yes. That's, yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
It was one of, every once in a while, there's just some weird people on the internet, is all I gotta say.
Yes, there are.
Not every once in a while. Just, they're always there. We're just lucky if we only encounter them every once in a while.
Fair.
I had some guy, speaking of Picard season 1 finale, I had some guy tell me that I had ruined his like years-long rewatch of the Star Trek franchise, in which he just finished over the course of like several years, beginning with the original series and running all the way through the end of the like Berman era, because I had tweeted 2 years after the episode came out and used the Star Trek Picard hashtag that Brent Spiner's in the Star Trek Picard season 1 finale. He was like, "You have ruined everything." To which I was like, well, then, you know, I'm sorry about that, but like the episode came out 2 years ago. It's not my responsibility to protect you from 2-year-old spoilers. Yeah. If this is so important to you that like get off Twitter, right? Like if it's gonna ruin your life to like, as apparently this did, to learn a relatively minor detail, quite frankly. Yeah, so I blocked him. And then he was like, "I can't believe that guy blocked me. I'm the one who's got a grievance with him." And I'm like, I'm doing you a favor, because you never have to see any of my spoiler tweets. Exactly. You'll never be spoiled again, sir. I promise you.
The number of times people have gotten mad at me for spoilers when they refuse to mute the hashtags and get mad when I suggest that maybe they should is... Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. My favorite was one guy that got real mad at me for quoting a lot... Oh, it was during season 1 of Lower Decks. When we got to the episode with "Don't give me that sarcastic Vulcan salute," I quoted it while watching the episode. And he's like, "Don't give me spoilers." Like, dude, that was in the trailer. And I used the hashtag.
And how is that a spoiler?
Yeah!
Like, yeah, okay.
If it matters that much to you, watch it when it comes out, right? Like, I typically don't watch Doctor Who within, like, months of it coming out.
Same.
And so I typically will hit spoilers, and I'm just like, okay, like, I did that, right? Like, because I didn't bother to watch it when it came out. So oftentimes I will learn details about episodes, and I'm just like, well, that's okay, because I've made the choice not to watch it for a while. So, like, you know, if I really cared that much, I would... What? Anyway, sorry. I sidetracked.
No, not at all.
For Doctor Who, I actually do watch it as soon as I am able to, but with Doctor Who, thankfully I'm looking forward to coming to Disney Plus, so then I won't have to have the 1-day delay for iTunes that I have now. Because I've been buying Doctor Who on iTunes and watch, but of course that comes out the day after it airs in the US, which is, you know, well after it airs in the UK. So yes, there are always spoilers. The one that bugs me on that is that the official Doctor Who account for the BBC is tweeting out spoilers like minutes after the episode airs in the UK, and it's just like, guys.
Yeah. Well,
how does it feel to not be the center of the universe for a change?
Yeah, but I also don't care about spoilers in general.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I get it. Like, there's okay, so like there's some spoilers, like spoiler for Harry Potter book 6, when Dumbledore died, right? Mute. Like my sister was ahead of me reading it, and my mother walks into the living room and she's like, "Did you get to the part where Dumbledore died yet?" And I'm like, "No." So it was like it wasn't a minor spoiler. It was like I was like an hour's worth of reading away from it, so it wasn't a big deal, and I could kind of see it coming, but
pretty much that exact same thing happened to me with the 5th Harry Potter book, with somebody spoiling Sirius Black dying.
Someone spray painted it on a highway overpass.
What, Snape kills Dumbledore?
No, Dumbledore dies.
Oh, that's shitty. That is.
Yeah. But it's also... people consider certain things spoilers when they're not, too. Like... Oh,
like, don't give me that sarcastic Vulcan salute.
Well, no, but also, Chrissy, we got a comment on an episode where somebody said that we should stop talking about the trailers because they're spoilers.
No. No, I don't remember that, and also no, we should not
Your
do that.
response was no, so...
Well, I mean, the perpetual example to me is Generations. You know, we all walked into that movie knowing that Kirk was dead at the end of it. The point was seeing what happened to get at that place. Okay, well, anybody who was reading the magazines and stuff.
Yeah, but you were also, 11, Thad, so,
I was 8.
Okay, you were 8.
What year was 94?
7.
Yeah.
I was 12.
Okay, I don't know why I thought you were a couple of years older than I am. You are older than I am, but just a little bit. I was 7.
Oh, yeah, I even got a gray hair in my beard somewhere.
Uh-oh.
When somebody tells me that something I said spoiled, something that happened to them years and years ago, and I didn't even know them then and all of that, I have so much power over you. What else can I make you do? Will you go commit a murder or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I would never deliberately spoil something. If I know somebody is reading, something for the first time, I'm not going to spoil it for them. But I'm also, generally, for something that's been around for a while... Oh, I remember in high school, somebody got mad at me for talking about what happens in the book The Return of the King. Because the movie had yet.
Oh, dear.
I'm like... It's been
again,
50
I'm going to bet their parents weren't alive even when that came out. So... Or if they were not old enough to read it. Because, yeah, that, but also I think of, the people that said that, the Ghostbusters with all the women ruined their childhoods, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm like, if they have that kind of power over you, what else?
Well, people said the same thing about Star Trek Picard.
Exactly, right, which brings it back to what we were talking about, but yeah.
But also I liked the Women Ghostbusters movie.
I loved that movie. That was fantastic. And they set it up, if you read the comics, they set it up so that there was 5 different Ghostbusters universes, because there's the one with the cartoon, and there's the one with the original Ghostbusters, and then there's the one with another cartoon, and then there was the one with them, and then there was the comic book continuity. And it was okay, they explained it. I mean, I'm being a Trekkie, I'm used to multiverses, but I thought it was fine. It was good.
I also really liked the one from last year. I thought that was good too.
Oh, I did too.
I haven't seen either.
Oh, do you not like Ghostbusters, or you?
It just never clicked with me.
Maybe you have to be American.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It is, yeah.
That was mostly a joke.
Honestly, I think it was. I don't remember the first time I saw Ghostbusters, but I'm fairly certain I was not a kid.
Gotcha.
That might have something to do with it. If you don't grow up with it.
Yeah, so I just didn't...
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with it. Anyway, isn't there an episode of Star Trek Prodigy that we're supposed to be talking about?
Yeah, so Prodigy. Yes, we were talking about the ships.
The ships!
Is as an example of another thing that this did better than the end of season 1 of Picard. We had more than one more than one class of ship in this scene.
Yes, we did.
That said, I absolutely believe the original fleet was all copies of 4 classes. I wish, though, when the other ships started warping in, I wish we had seen a little bit of variety. I realize it would have made a lot more effort for them to do on their part, but I at that point, if we're looking in universe, it would have made more sense for some other ships to show up then.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
In fact,
I'll give him a pass on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say, Star Trek is not ruined for me or anything.
Thad here again. Talking about how Star Trek has been ruined for him by the fact that there were only 4 different classes of ship and not 17.
Everyone's rank insignia was fine this week, so it's fine.
That's good. That's a plus.
But I actually did think there was a California class the first time I watched it, but then on rewatching and staring very closely at every frame, it turned out it was just a different angle of a Centaur class.
What a dreadful tease.
That would have been fun, and it would have been fun if they could have somehow made it look like the Lower Deck style animation. So it was just this little Easter egg in the back.
Well, the Lower Decks ship animations and the Prodigy ship animations are actually very similar.
That's true.
Because Lower Decks goes way more realistic in quotes, because these are starships we're talking about. But
careful. They're real to some of us. I'm one of them. #believe.
The Lower Decks animation style is for the starships and like the space scenes in general is more detailed and more realistically 3D looking than the regular Lower Decks like people scenes.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks more like the live action shows. That's
Yeah. The Defiant's there.
Is it?
Yes. You see the registry number.
Oh.
NX74205.
I did not notice
cool.
that. That is cool.
Yep.
Do all of the Defiants have that registry?
That I couldn't tell you.
that wouldn't make sense if they did.
Well, I was just thinking they're just reusing the model.
Would if they built one model and they just hit copy and paste.
Yeah.
Oh, not Defiant class, but Defiant, each one called Defiant.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe the other ships that they have different, that they are not all the same registry number.
So was that the one that we saw really, really close in the one scene? Is that the one?
Yes, there's a one shot where you see it from below and you see the nacelle, and on the side of the nacelle is the registry number, and it's NX74205.
So who do you think's commanding it?
Good question.
Does it survive?
Well, guess we'll have to wait and find out next week, won't we?
Well, if Kira is in command, we know she survives. Well, no.
Tough little ship.
This is Prodigy is actually after Lower Decks, isn't it?
Yes.
So we don't know. A lot of people die in this episode, honestly. It's like reading a David Mack novel.
A lot of people, yeah, it's dark. It's pretty dark. I mean, it is, so, like, and again, this is, TV show, and you just kind of set it aside. But hey, since you started the nitpicking train, I'm just going to jump on
Absolutely. Go for it.
Keep riding it.
What else is there to do?
When it comes to, and this is a Star Trek, this is not Prodigy specific, this is an issue for all of Star Trek, which is, how much time and effort and energy does it actually take to destroy a ship is totally dependent on how the story, what you need from the story, right? Like, the shields are down and those ships are just shooting at each other. And, like, it feels like this battle goes on for 45 minutes before, like... breaching. Yeah, like, it should all happen very, very quickly. And it doesn't because, it's the story and you need the story to play out the way that it does. But that's one of those things where, if you have a terminally poisoned brain like mine, you
like all of us,
you watch it and it just, it's just one of those things. It's not a criticism. It's not a problem. It's just like oh, hey, it's another one of those Star Trek things where, like, how long does it take to destroy a ship? How long do you need it in the plot sense to take to destroy the ship or for them to ultimately save it? Yeah.
And how do they forget to rotate shield frequency for, the couple of minutes and generations that it takes to blow up the... Anyway.
They're just trying to decide if a 20-year-old Klingon bird of prey is a match for the Federation flagship.
Yeah.
Turns out the answer is yes.
Even though it wasn't any time previously, including when there were a lot of more of them there.
I mean, they were retired from service because of defective plasma coils.
Yeah, but that just affects the cloaking device. It's not a key system.
Mm-hmm. So, I would be interested to know, for people who have kids watching this, if...
oh, you mean the target audience?
Yeah.
You mean none of the three of us?
Random Trekkies in their 30s and 40s? Yeah, no, not that.
We're just commenting on, like, how long did it take to destroy a ship, and not on, like, did the people who are supposed to like this actually like it?
Oh, I'm not asking about liking it. I would be interested to know, and listeners tell me if you can answer this, if the apparent deaths bothered the kids. because, it's not like you're seeing it, but at the same time, if you, even as a kid, if you extrapolate out, like, oh, there's people on those ships and it just exploded, because that's a lot of death for a kid's show. It's not like when we came across Wolf 359, and that was a lot of death for kids too, but it was different. So, not to bring it down.
I wonder how many kids are going to realize that there are deaths happening. And also, I imagine we see a lot of destruction, but we know the ships have escape pods. We know from the episode where they were docked at the space station and accidentally destroyed it, that the escape pods are somehow not affected by this virus.
That's true.
There probably aren't... I doubt most of those ships, and we also did not see very many warp core detonations, or any of that, honestly. No. We just see ships getting carved apart. Okay. I'm wondering... I'm guessing that a huge proportion of the crews are getting off alive.
And you know what? I wondered why they did that with the escape pod. I mean, other than the obvious reason. But that does establish that so that you have that for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take it.
I was definitely thinking, man, it's a shame they're not in the Kelvin timeline, or they'd have escape pods on the bridge.
Kelvin
pods. It would make too much sense.
Anyway, back to this episode, and like the first 5 minutes of this episode, we have a reference to the Voyager episode Counterpoint.
Oh, I hate this part of the episode. I'm sorry. This totally this bumps me really badly, and I love Counterpoint. It's one of my favorite episodes of Voyager. It makes absolutely no sense in the world that the security officer guarding the brig turns out to be one of the telepathic Brunali Briori refugees from Counterpoint. The only way it could possibly make sense, which is not said in dialogue, but I spent a lot of time after this episode thinking about how could this somewhat ridiculous scene make any sense in the world, would be if the interspatial flexure that they travel through at the end of the episode to get out of divorce space. The only way that I can come up with that it would make sense for then her to be in the Alpha Quadrant would be if the interspatial flexure had terminated in the Alpha Quadrant. And I'm sorry, I hate that idea so much, because what it says is Voyager was this close to being home 2 years before, and just flew on by without realizing it. I love this episode. That scene actively makes me angry because it's a product of two things, right? One, and again, we're not the target audience, and it's designed to give you a little bit of, think about it from the perspective of the writers and think about it from the perspective of what they're trying to tell their audience, right? They're trying to draw connections to the Star Trek franchise for younger viewers to then go, I want to go watch that episode, and then they go watch Counterpoint, and Counterpoint's great, and I want everybody to see Counterpoint because it's one of the best. It's one of the best episodes of Voyager. It's one of my favorite episodes. It's an automatic go-to for me. I'll throw it on in an instant. I hate it from my non-target audience perspective because, one, it doesn't... The only way it makes sense, comically undermines that episode and the series as a whole, because, it says that Voyager flew up to something that would get them home and then just flew on by without realizing it. And that, I refuse to accept that. And number two is small universe syndrome, right? They were in... And Prodigy has been somewhat guilty of that, and again, we'll kind of forgive it for, the kid show that it is. Kazon all the way over the other side of the Delta Quadrant from where the Kazon are, even though they don't really have any technology. And, as of a couple of episodes ago, a lot of Kazon. It's not like it was just one guy who managed to stumble his way across the other side of the quadrant. There were a bunch of them catching Medusans. It's a small universe problem.
There was the one guy at that outpost that was near the Romulan neutral zone, too.
Right. It's a small universe problem of... divorce space is 35,000 light years, let's say, away from the Federation. halfway across the galaxy from where they are now. You met one person from a group of, like, 100 people, 35,000 light years away, and now you met them again. And in that time, they have gone from being a refugee to getting to the Federation, to joining Starfleet, to being posted on the ship, to being posted on the Dauntless, by the way, commanded by one Admiral Janeway, who apparently didn't think to review the crew roster when she did it. Because, like, if I were looking through and I was like, oh, I remember those people. Oh, wait, didn't I, like, weren't they from the Delta Quadrant too? Like, how did they get here? Because, like, it was really difficult for me to get here. And like, if there was a easier, better way, well, then I should go ask that person what it was. Because I'm curious, right? Like, I made it halfway across the galaxy to get here, and all it took was my alternate future self coming back in time and helping me do it. Did their alternate future self help them? Anyway, sorry, I'm walking down a...
You don't know, maybe they did.
I'm walking down, like, yeah, and there's a novel there, for sure. Anyway, I did, this, it was just the one part of this episode where I was like, that is overly hokey.
Yeah.
And I think there were ways of getting the same feel without doing something so brazenly hokey.
I am right there with you. I did not feel so emphatic about it, but I'm right there with you. And what bothers me is it could have been as easy as saying, oh, my parent was so-and-so, and I would have never seen them had it not been for the fact that you got back.
Right.
And it didn't even have to be somebody we knew. You know?
Yes.
It could have just...
Yes.
Ensign Smith, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been anybody. And that would have had the same kind of... I guess it wouldn't have pointed people to a particular episode. But, okay. You know, are they actually thinking...
I mean, it still didn't. She didn't say, in the Voyager episode Counterpoint, you did this.
Right.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been. They've turned your adventures into small holographic novels. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, yes! She has nothing to do with Janeway. She's just like, I just played the holo novel Counterpoint yesterday, and...
Anyway, that is the only bad thing I have to say about this episode.
No, I'm right there with you.
I hadn't really considered the implications of it until your rant, Alex, but yeah, no, it makes sense.
Sorry for ruining it for you.
Yeah, jeez. Alright.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, Janeway does get out of the brig, but she's too late. She gets to the bridge just after they accept the hail from... Oh, we should cover that, but...
Yeah.
Essentia and the Diviner and Dreadnought all beam over to the Protostar because they sort of force their way onto the transporter pad. So that's... Mm-hmm. We have to do this because, again, we have to tie stuff up, so we have to have the fight between the Diviner and Essentia this week so that next week we can tie everything up.
Okay, I lied. I do have one more criticism of this episode.
Sure.
I did not like the way that they ended the Diviner's story in this episode for somebody who, like, enslaved a bunch of people.
Yeah, they're never going to cover that.
It was way too, like, you are vindicated by your actions in the last, like, episode or two.
Yeah.
It was just a little too, like, no, you're a slave trader, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and just because you care about your daughter enough that you, like, somewhat turn on the cause that was your driving force for the first 15 episodes of the season, like, that does not wash away the fact that you're a slave trader. So, like, it was a little too clean and neat of a, I love my father and I'm reconciled with my father and he did a good thing at the end and therefore he sort of goes out on a heroic note rather than, like, there should have just been a bit more, Like, he's actually a bad dude, and doing one good thing does not erase all of the bad things that you've done, whereas it felt a little too much like you've done one good thing, and therefore you exit the show a hero.
Well, I think only because he dies. If he hadn't died, it would be different. It's like Captain Ransom in Equinox. He was a Starfleet officer. He remembered that at the end. Janeway would not speak like that if he had lived.
You've also run into something that is I'm not going to say it's solely an Americanism, but it is very much part of the American culture to set aside people's involvement with things like slavery when looking at other parts of their life. So, I don't know if you get that kind of a story out of somebody who didn't grow up in the United States. And I don't know that all the writers did, so that's being that is being ethnocentric of me, but as soon as you said slave trader, I started thinking, I'm like, is this like Scarlett O'Hara? She's the heroine, but she's also a slave owner and everything else that goes on, so.
Everybody in Hamilton.
Are the Adamses in Hamilton?
Only mentioned.
Okay, then yeah.
John Adams. Good luck.
He didn't own slaves.
Yeah, John Adams is talked about. There's a whole song where King George talks about how he met him and he was a little man, but he's never actually seen in the. Well,
there you go. See,
musical.
And I could talk about a lot of other.
Okay,
things.
Aaron Burr never owned slaves. Ironically.
Oh, you're right. I think
he might be the one character.
What does Thomas Paine show up? I can't remember. I only saw Hamilton
only
once.
Mentioned.
Okay, I don't think he ever had enough money to own slaves. All right. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah, Aaron Burr was actually a staunch abolitionist.
Yeah. I had forgotten about that.
There was the whole, treason against the U.S. that he was involved in later. So, he still wasn't a great guy, but
stopped clocks and all.
Everyone's complicated.
Yeah. Maybe I'm throwing a little too much history into the diviner and the slave issue, but when you said the thing about the slave trader.
But then who hasn't been involved in treason in this day and age? Anyway. It was all very telegraphed, I thought. Like, I think we knew from last week what was going to happen between the diviner and the Vindicator. And especially with that interview that we talked about last week, where the writers basically told us that.
So, what are these people? The Vanukat. He literally sublimes. He goes from a solid to a vapor, or whatever he did. So, like, I want to know more about them, and we're going to find out more. But how does that work?
Maybe that's just what happens when they die.
Yeah, but why?
Why doesn't anything happen?
Becomes one with the Force.
Okay,
Oh,
I forgot about that. That's what. He's Vader. Oh my god, no, that's a point, though.
I called him Darth Vader last week, yeah. It's absolutely a whole Vader situation, because the only reason he is now doing the right thing is because of his daughter.
Yes.
And then we also have Dreadnought, who is, Trek Grievous, so... I thought that was pretty cool that he's also a spaceship, or at least a pod.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. That one...
Very versatile for a wooden table.
That's true.
Well, it's a wooden table that turns into a metal table in the fine tradition of Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's not a table, it's a transformer.
Show me a table. No. Show me a table closer to the table I'm thinking of.
That he's not actually a table.
Have you... Did you guys listen to Trek Ranks this week yet? Or last week?
Yes.
At the table? That was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think Jimmy Simpson's agent definitely did a great job, though, because he was in, 12 episodes this season, but he's credited in the main titles for all of them.
Yeah?
Good for him.
Yeah?
Hope he got paid.
Well, I think he would have to. I think that's how it works, I'm pretty sure. Sort of like how Sirach Lofton got paid for every episode of DS9, even though there were like 60 of them that he wasn't in.
Send that man a Christmas card.
So, Dahl kisses Gwyn by accident because he's a teenage boy, and that was really cute.
To be fair,
Not by
it was
accident.
a logical assumption to make.
It was, especially...
You're both about to die, the girl you like...
Whom amongst us?
Yeah. You're both about to die, the girl you like says, I need to tell you this. Like, come on. Of course he's gonna think that.
Oh, yeah, and the mindset that we knew he had about her, that was obvious. But it was cute. Again, set for a kid's show. So very, what's the word I'm looking for? Chaste, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, it was sweet.
I liked it. I also liked that it was not immediately just like, okay, we're in love now.
Yes.
Right, like it was clearly more complicated than that, in that he kissed her and like she clearly appreciated it and was into it, but it did not sort of create a moment of like, I like you too, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I did appreciate that, and I appreciated her being like, no, I don't need this right now. We need more female characters that do that, but more characters in general that do that, because not everyone has to be paired off.
It's important to have your priorities correct.
Yeah, and that too.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to me. The season has been building to this. Dal and Gwyn there clearly is chemistry there. And I like, at the end then we see them holding hands at the tense moment there.
Oh, yeah.
And she tells Dal that Starfleet's not going to let him in because he's an augment.
Evil Starfleet.
But I think, as we discussed last week, it's not quite the same situation as... No, I mean, if Julian Bashir didn't get kicked out, admittedly, they didn't know he was an augment in the first place, but still... it's not like Dow himself is guilty of anything. So, yeah. I just want Julian Bashir to show up and advocate for him. I think that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see that as well. It'd be fun, because it seems like Zero is moving on to maybe a medical-ish track. So maybe that'll be a connection that we might see Cartoon Bashir.
Oh, that could be cool.
Yeah. Internship or something, I don't know. But it'd be a way to get him on. A way to get him into the plot.
That would be interesting, yeah. I mean, we've seen a bunch of familiar faces. It's not it's not ridiculous to think they'll give us some more. And Alexander Siddig is a working actor, so...
Sure is.
And the universe is small enough for, the Bernari, whatever her name is, show up to rescue Janeway. Anyway.
Alright, so we have the fight with Dreadnought, and they're trying to stop him, and he just incapacitates all of them. But I did enjoy them all working together to get free then at the end.
Yes. That was very good.
Let's try that again.
Mm-hmm. And a gravity grenade. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I don't remember ever seeing that anywhere else on Trek.
No, I don't think so.
Also, though, Jank and Pog should have been dead.
Tellarets are tough.
They are. But, I mean, if Worf breaks his spine because of a plastic bucket.
A very heavy plastic bucket.
All right, well, a very heavy... I guess that's not as much of a laugh line as I was thinking. Yeah.
A very heavy plastic bucket that bounces off his back.
All right, don't you say anything bad about ethics.
I won't.
No, you can say whatever you want to. I'm just being silly.
I've used that episode.
I really like the ethics reference in Lower Decks where Tendi has to...
Yes. Mm-hmm. Time of life.
Mm-hmm.
The episode that tells us that the weird thing on the shoes of Klingons is because apparently it's also on their feet.
Yeah.
Which you really do have to wonder how they put their shoes on, but that's...
Yes.
Well, it ties over there. Yeah,
I guess.
Up, I guess.
The magic of technology.
Oh, we skipped entirely over the slippery dipsy doodle, but...
Yes, but you don't call it that. 2 years from now, we'll see the dipsy doodle the dipsy doodle maneuver.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even talk. Okay. So, speaking of Klingons, since I brought up Worf for no reason,
we have them in this episode.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool how we had the thing with Gwyn where they're speaking in Klingon, and then the camera kind of goes around, and it's just like an undiscovered country where it shifts from Klingon to English, and I just, that was so cool.
Yep. And I like how they had already shown us that Gwyn could speak Klingon a couple episodes ago. I thought that was a nice little callback there.
Mm-hmm.
This whole section of the episode was what I like to call Alex Perry bait. I am, I'm not a very sophisticated person, and any time they use the, season finale trope of doing some kind of, team up or someone coming in to save somebody else at the last moment, right? Like, you've got Riker number 1 in... the Picard Season 1 finale. You've got Riker number 2 in the Lower Deck Season 1 finale. You've got...
party and I wasn't invited?
Exactly. You've got Shran at the end of 0 Hour. I am just a huge fan of those, Avengers Endgame style moments. And this was I've watched the episode a couple of times now, and that sequence makes me tear up every time, just because I'm I love this. If every season finale had a moment like this, I would never get tired of it, because that's how simple of a mind I have, and how easily I am manipulated.
Oh no, I'm with you on this 100%.
And I'm just just give it to me, right? I'm just, when the bird of prey shows up and blocks the shot, it's yes! And it will never not evoke, that sort of, soaring, triumphant feeling in me. So yeah, I was a huge fan of that part of the episode.
I like that
makes me think of my favorite part of the movie Independence Day.
Yes.
When you see all of the different groups of fighters all around the world getting their message on how to destroy these ships, and yes,
it's a message from the Americans. It's about bloody time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they made a point of one of the groups being Iraqi too, because it was,
yes.
It was the 90s.
And it was the Israelis and the Iraqis and the British. Yeah.
The British, who apparently were just sitting there waiting. That was kind of whatever. But anyway,
yeah. What do they want us to do?
Yeah. That does not make you simple-minded to appreciate that. It goes back to Greek theater. There you go. It's a Deus ex machina. So if Aristotle wrote about it, you're not simple-minded.
I'm a fan of classic theater.
There you go. There you go. And yes, I love that too, because it was just cool. And such a good, the thought process to get to that of these are allied ships, but they aren't Starfleet, so they don't have the same computer system, so it's not going to recognize it as such. It's that makes perfect sense, and I can't believe I didn't think of that leading into it. So that was a fantastic way to resolve that.
And one of my favorite bits about that is how excited Jankum is over the different ships, because that's me. I was also excited over those different ships.
And I think it's the first time... Is it the first time we've seen one of those Vulcan ships since Enterprise?
I can't remember if we saw any. No.
No, there's one
what
in
about...
Strange New Worlds.
Well, no, I was thinking we saw one very similar to that in Lower Decks.
Oh,
Yes,
in Wedge Douche.
I don't think they're
you're right.
the same, though.
Not
no,
exactly
but
the same.
The ring
and
ship
I want to say we also saw ships that looked like that in Discovery.
Yes.
In Lethe.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right across the board. So, listeners, it's 10:15 at night here when we're recording this, and I'm tired. Also, just got done with exam
I'm also
grading.
obsessed with starships. There's, that too.
So there's that. Yeah.
Don't blame yourself because I know incredibly minuscule details about Star Trek.
That's a point. That is a point. Doesn't mean I'm not still tired, but it's a point.
Sure. And then, of course, more Starfleet ships are coming in because when a starship is in distress, it sends out a distress signal, and Starfleet is going to help them. So we've got a problem. All of the fleet is going to show up at some point and get destroyed here.
Okay, I had a problem with this because that sounds fantastic in concept, but let's think about the circumstances under which a Starfleet vessel might be under distress and wouldn't want anybody else to show up. Because it would make the situation worse and or they would die, So, okay. But no. Have the distress signal, of course, but not automated like that.
Also, I'm wondering, though, even if it wasn't automated, I wonder, they could, I honestly think they could have just played it as, rather than say that it's an automated thing, I think it might have worked better if this is part of the virus. The virus sends out a distress signal to pull in more ships.
Yes, that would have been better. That would have made it more insidious.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the better.
So, the diviner dies. We've got a bunch of ships showing up. Something's going to happen next week. And hopefully it means that all of Starfleet isn't destroyed. But a whole bunch of Starfleet got destroyed this week, which leads to my new piece of headcanon. This takes place right before the Romulan supernova, because we know that they're doing the negotiations vis-a-vis the evacuation of Romulus. One of the... We know that the Starfleet was going to help and couldn't, partly because of the AI uprising. But I'm wondering if another part of it was that a whole bunch of ships were destroyed in this incident here, which means that that Starfleet just did not have the manpower or the ships to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that. Man, it's been a hard few decades for Starfleet.
For real.
I mean, Wolf 359, and then the Dominion War, and now this. It's like every time they get the fleet back up to snuff, it's going to get wiped out again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that, we've got a... Yeah, and there's the thing with, in Discovery, there were the Texas-class thing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Lower Decks, yeah.
That's what I meant. Why did I say Discovery?
Lower
Decks, the Texas-class thing. Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of incidences where Starfleet ships are getting destroyed left and right.
Say what you will about that Excelsior class. They lasted.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
Those were like the frickin', I don't know, Model Ts.
Excelsior and the Miranda class, yeah.
Yeah.
Just forever.
Yeah.
It always kind of bugged me that we never saw a Constitution in the Dominion War. We saw all these Excelsiors and Mirandas, but not a single Constitution class.
How many Constitution were there?
Only 12.
I was going to say, I thought there was a very small...
canon.
Yeah.
Is that a canonical thing that there were only ever 12?
Good question. I actually don't know.
Well, we know...
Because...
Three of them.
The thing that they always like to say is the Enterprise is the only one that came back, but that's actually not listed anywhere.
We lost Enterprise, we lost Defiant.
We lost
another one.
there's the one from the Doomsday Machine.
Yeah.
Constellation.
Didn't at least one of them get destroyed in Ultimate Computer, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
The Lexington, I think.
Yeah. But the Yorktown survived that one. It was damaged, but it survived. Although I know there's beta canon that says the Yorktown is the ship that turned into the Enterprise A. I don't know if we lost any more on screen. Oh, there was... we don't know if the Intrepid was a Constitution class or not, do we?
We don't. It's assumed that it was.
Yeah.
But we don't know for sure.
Yeah. Apparently, somewhere in the Battle of Wolf 359, there is a Constitution class, according to Memory Alpha.
Okay.
Which would make sense in that case, too.
Yeah.
So...
It is... So, I was looking up were there only 12 Constitution class ships. Mm-hmm. It does come from a line of dialogue from Tomorrow's Yesterday.
Okay.
Where I can't remember who it is who says it. Says there are only 12 like it in the fleet. But that was also contemporaneous of that point in time.
Right.
So
that doesn't mean there weren't more after that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and if you go to Memory Alpha, there's 16 that are actually named on screen. If you include, yeah. So yeah, there should have been. Anyway. They're too clunky.
Anyway. Yeah, we had a really epic space battle, awesome shots of ships, and we'll probably get more shots of ships next week, and hopefully all of Starfleet doesn't get destroyed, but we'll have to find that out next week.
Dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun dun dun.
These kids don't know what they're missing, not having to wait 3 months to find out what happened. I mean, come on.
I didn't have to wait 3 months because I wasn't watching yet at that point.
I didn't have to wait 3 months because the first time I saw Best of Both Worlds was on the feature cut VHS that they did. So I didn't even realize it was supposed to be 2 separate episodes. I just watched it all spliced together. I
watched them both at the same time too, from a recording. Best of Both Worlds is actually an episode that I knew about because I had the Star Trek Encyclopedia, but I had never caught on TV back in the 90s and didn't see it until the early 2000s when the cable channel TNN was marathoning TNG all the time.
What did they... It was Wreck Your Friday Night or something like that. Forgot about that.
I don't know, but I had a complete set of TNG recorded on VHS off TNN.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was that was one of the there were the weird, just the way the 90s worked. You watched it when it was on TV, or you never saw it, or you paid the $50 for the VHS. So there were a whole bunch of episodes that I knew about because I had read the first edition of the Star Trek Encyclopedia from cover to cover. But
spoilers? I mean, really?
Yeah, maybe this is why I don't care about spoilers, because I spoiled myself as a kid. So I knew all about Best of Both Worlds, and I knew all about a whole bunch of other episodes that I had never seen until many years later.
Listeners, if you could see me right now, you'd see my hair just going gray. Getting lines in my face. It's looking like the deadly years over here with these people who didn't have to wait the 3 months for Best of Both Worlds.
I wonder how many people... Alex, did you have the Star Trek Encyclopedia?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Carried it around with me everywhere.
Okay, and did you also read the whole thing?
I don't know that I read the whole thing, but I studied it diligently.
Same.
Yeah, I remember having the 3rd edition, the one that had all the extra ones that were just like parked at the end.
Oh yeah, that was the 3rd edition. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would carry that around all day at school, all throughout recess, all throughout lunch break. I just had it with me so that I could, crack it open at any time and refer to something within.
You were extremely popular at school then.
Oh, boy, was I! Yes.
Oh, my favorite thing to do at recess, read.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not even being sarcastic.
Oh, no, same. I was constantly reading in school. I would get in trouble because I would, hide a book in my desk and read in class.
Yes! Oh, well, anyway.
All right. Anyone have any more final thoughts or anything we didn't cover yet on this episode?
Loved it. Can't wait for the season finale.
Same. One thing that has bugged me all season that I didn't bring up when we were talking about it is that there is no reason for the Admiral's attaché to be working on the bridge, as a regular bridge person, being at the helm. But, plot. So I just wanted to say that and acknowledge it.
I mean, presumably she is also trained on helm and not just randomly sitting there.
Well, yeah, but also, this is the Admiral's attaché. She's not gonna... She needs to be doing whatever the Admiral needs her to do, not taking a shift on the bridge. Yeah.
That is a very good point. I had not thought of that until I saw it in your notes.
So other than that, I have bring on the season finale, and then let's just, move up Picard to mid-January instead of mid-February.
Are you sure? Aren't you guys looking forward to having a couple of weeks off from doing this?
Okay.
I will. Yes, I am.
February. I am too, but...
Oh boy, how many episodes did we do this year?
You did 51 episodes this year.
Yeah, well...
Oh, no, we also did a Lower Decks recap before the Lower Decks premiered, so we have done 52 episodes.
Then you did 52 episodes this year.
And we didn't combine any, because we kept them separate when they were doubled up.
Even when they were on the same... Yeah, well, Alex knows he was there for two of them.
Yes, he was. Yeah, forget what I just said. No, mid-February is lovely.
I mean, no, I don't want to wait till mid-February either. I want it right now.
Because you guys realize once you hit mid-February in Picard Season 3, that's almost certainly going to roll directly into Strange New Worlds Season 2, which will roll directly into Discovery Season 5, which will roll directly into Lower Decks Season 4, which will roll directly into Prodigy Season 2.0.
You say this like it's a bad thing.
Oh, it's not a bad thing. I'm just... Come mid-February, I think that there's 50 episodes just lined up and waiting to go.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right about that.
And I'm not talking about the Star Trek there.
No, it's great. It's this year has had more Star Trek episodes since 1998. The most Star Trek episodes in 1 year since 1998.
Not bad, not bad.
Keep it up.
And yeah, 6 years ago, I never would have believed it.
No,
definitely not. 6 years ago, I was still like, "Oh, are they going to do fourth Kelvin timeline movie? That sounds nice."
Oh God, it was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
I know that's right. You're not. I forgot.
Right, you made that promise.
Well, I'll just acknowledge for
the
you.
answer is no, Chrissy. They're not going to do a fourth timeline movie.
Yeah, but 6 years ago there was a chance.
Yes.
6 years ago there was a movie. They had a director and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Evans was going to be in it.
Chris Evans was going to be in it. S.J. Clarkson was going to direct it.
Not Chris Evans, the other one. Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Or was Evans too?
No, it was just Hemsworth. That would have been wild if Evans was also in it. Yeah, you're right. Hemsworth. Anyway, Alex, thank you so much for joining us today for this interesting discussion. Where can listeners find you online? Do you have any work you want to mention?
You can find me on Twitter for as long as it exists at Alexander T. Perry. You can find me at a couple of other social media sites at Alex T. Perry. Going for something a little shorter. Weekly Trek is my regular Star Trek news podcast. We have an episode coming out probably the same day as this one, and then our year in review episode coming next week from the time that this episode drops. And I'm moving into year 4 of doing that, which is a long time. And yeah, that's where folks can find me.
You know, you call yourself Weekly Trek, but we had more episodes than you.
You did, yes. I only did like 30-some this year. It's been a slow news months. Like, you guys didn't have a news section at the beginning of the episode because there wasn't anything worth talking about.
Yeah.
For a lot of episodes, that's been true, yeah. All right. So, Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not speaking Klingon?
You know, I had a meeting with some people that I'm setting up a conference. I'm helping to set up a conference for the International Society for the Study of Medievalism. And they were talking about what languages, like, people in the group could translate the call for papers into. And I was like, oh, it'd be funny if we had it in Klingon. And the woman who's running, she was like, if you can do that, I'll put it up on the website. And I'm like, yeah, I wish I could.
There's this... and I notice it a lot. There's this belief in pop culture that all Trekkies can speak Klingon.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's actually a very small number of Trekkies that can speak Klingon.
Yes.
I blame that story about that one couple that met, and that was the only language they both spoke, and, you know.
Yes. I can sing the song from Way of the Warrior, and that's it.
I don't know if I believe that story.
I don't disbelieve it. No.
It doesn't seem probable to me. You know the story we're talking about, Alex?
Yes. The two people from two different countries, but they both spoke Klingon, so that was how they communicated and bonded with each other. Yeah, it sounds like bullshit to me.
Because my thing is, if they spoke Klingon, if they knew Star Trek well enough to speak Klingon fluently, they also spoke English fluently.
Yes, because they watched Star Trek.
Right.
No, that's a point I haven't thought of. You've ruined it for me.
It's a cute story, but I don't think it's real.
Oh, you're right. All right, well.
Anyway, Chrissy, where can people find you?
Yes, right. So, not speaking Klingon. In addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on BQN, and that is a twice-weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. I'm also happy to chat about our shows in the BQN Collective on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter at the Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where I tweet about Star Trek history and leftist politics. And I am going to set up other stuff, but I think I might stay on Twitter just to the bitter end. Just
to the bitter end.
Yes, because it's going to be fun to watch it burn. Right, so Thad, where can people find you when you're not trying to figure out ways to communicate without opening a hailing frequency?
Best place to find me at the moment is also still on Twitter. I am at Tyrannicus, Tyranicus. I am also on Mastodon at Tyrannicus at 10forward.social, where I mostly just cross-post my tweets, but, you know, I'm still there, because there are plenty of people who have left Twitter are only available there now, so I gotta, still find my friends. And, you can also hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C, like the British do it, where we talk about the James Bond films and James Bond adjacent films.
Don't forget all of our other great shows on the BQN Podcast Collective, like Galaxy Class, All Good Things, Union Federation, What's the T-Bev, Mickey's Marvels, History with the Szilagys, as aforementioned, and recently added to the network, and a hell of a lot of fun, is the Trexperts Quiz. And if you're not listening to that, you need.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
And if you'd like to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of our BQN podcasts in the Facebook group, the BQN Collective. On our next episode, we'll be talking about the finale of the first season of Prodigy, which is appropriately named Supernova Part 2. Until then, we bid you peace and long life.